back to my workshop, and here we are at the start of yet another exciting project, and this one's a bit of an unusual one. In this video I've been given the opportunity to create a sculpture. It has to be a lit sculpture or a sculpture involving lighting, and it's going to be used at the Canary Wharf London Winter Lights Festival 2017. This project came from a design I came up with for a lamppost earlier in the year when I was lighting a sculpture for somebody else. It's a long story, I won't bore you with it now. The customer rather liked the lamppost, it just wasn't appropriate for where we were going to use it for. So therefore the suggestion is I create the lamppost and then I create a lantern to hang on the end of it. In this video I'm going to be working with copper. This is a new material for me, I've never really worked with it before, although I've played with it. If you've never bought copper before, make sure you sit down when you're ordering it. It is a scary price. Now I'm probably not going to bother giving you step-by-step instructions as we go through this video because the chances of you wanting to make something like this is quite remote. But you may find it interesting to follow the process as I make it. So hopefully I can talk you through the design or the thought process behind the design so you can understand how I got to where I get to. And quite frankly, it'll be quite interesting to see whether I can actually make it. I think I can, but let's see. So we start off with this lovely big sheet of copper. It's a very tactile material. I rather like just running my hands across it. It feels rather nice and it's going to take light beautifully. And I've scribed all the way around in here a circle, 495 millimeters across. And all I've got to do now is just cut that out. Now as you can see, I've now managed to cut my circle. Now this piece becomes the top of the lantern. So as you can see, I've cut a hole in the centre and then I've cut a 20mm hole there, which will then have a gland, and that's how the cable will get inside. Now you will also see that I've scribed a triangle. I'm now going to cut this bit out and then fold the whole thing round so it becomes a cone. I've done it with paper, I've done it in leather, so therefore I must be able to do it in copper. That's one way to find out. So now the moment of truth. It works. Well, I just need to get that round a bit more and straighten it up a bit, but I think that's going to work. Well, much to my amazement, it works. This is really very good. Excuse me for getting too excited. What I've done is I've bent it round and I've just run a little bit of solder up there very quickly. And when you turn it upside down like that, it's almost flat. That's really very good. I'm quite excited by that. So for all intents and purposes, that's this bit done for a while. I mean, obviously we need to clean up the sides and things like that, but that's not very exciting. You probably don't want to watch that. I now need to cut another circle for the inside, considerably smaller. This is going to be 345 millimeters, so about there. And that's going to actually support the guts of the lantern. This is the exciting bit. Well, I think it is anyway. So we'll put that to one side and on we get with another circle. Come back and see me in a minute. So here we are, it's another circle cut. I've cut a 10mm hole in the middle and I've marked out for 8 more holes. They're going to be 12mm holes on the outside. And the idea is that we have a bit of studding through there. That goes through there. And then that then becomes the inside of our lantern and we can suspend it from something at the top there. But that's starting to look quite good. I quite like a copper lampshade. The lamps I'm going to be using are an LED fire lamp, which are quite exciting, but they need, if that's our lantern hanging from the sky or for our lamppost like that, the lamp holder with the lamp has to be that way up, with the lamp facing upwards, otherwise it doesn't work. What I'm now going to make is a series of sort of J-shaped little copper pipes coming out of that piece there. For that I'm going to use some 12mm copper water pipe. This is just normal plumber's pipe, although it's a little bit thin, or a little bit on the thin side. And it just so happens that our lamp holder will fit, once nicely tapped on the end of it, will fit just nicely on that. So there you are, that's the base of our lamp holder. And that will then fit like that. Now in making this, I'm pretty much working at the edge of my knowledge. In doing so, I've had to learn one or two new techniques. And you see plumbers working with copper pipe and they make it look so simple. And then you realise what they've actually got is years of practical experience and quite a lot of skill. So it's never quite as easy as you think. But what I need to make now are these circular copper bits here. And then our lamp holder fits on the end like that. So I've cut myself some copper pipe, and after much toing and froing and testing, I've discovered that this is the best way to actually do it. So it's 12mm copper pipe. And you put a bending spring on the outside. Now all we've got to do now is get the spring off. Well, there you are. So that's the inside of the lantern. This now hangs down. Each one of these then has a lamp put on it. If I put the lid on, you can start to see what this is going to go like. Those are the lamps. They're special fire lamps, and they're going to fit in lamp holders like that. That then hangs from our lamp post. I think that's really good. I'm really quite proud of that. So let's see how we can get on with the next bit. Now I have a real feeling of deja vu here. Many years ago, one Christmas I got really bored, and I started looking to see what other people were manufacturing. And I came across a website of some people who were making armour. And I thought, well, I could do that. That looks really easy. I mean, in reality it's not. It's very difficult stuff to do. But I thought, oh, they earn a lot of money for not a lot of materials. So I made a couple of helmets and things, fairly easy sort of starter pieces. And I rapidly discovered that whilst it might only take you, half a day or so to make a piece, you then got to spend 2 days polishing it. And I decided I've got better things to do in my life than spend 2 days polishing bits of metal. And so here I am now, this time working with copper. And the whole point of this piece is that I get reflections and warmth off the reflections. So I need to get this polished for a fairly decent mirror finish. So I'm back to the polishing stuff. And you forget how boring this really is. But such is life. So whilst you've been away, I've fitted this polycarbonate sheet around the outside. And in a minute we'll take off all the sort of protective packaging, and you can see what it looks like. Whilst everything is drying, I'm going to take the opportunity to fit the arms for the lamps. Now, I've previously wired them up. I've spent a lot of my life lighting sculptures for other people. And anybody who spends any time around artists, who are dear souls, I feel sure, but everybody thinks, I could do that. Yes, I could do something like that. You could pay me a fortune to make something like that. And eventually, Somebody said, well, go on then, put your money where your mouth is. And so that's what I'm doing. And you rapidly discover that you're nowhere near as good as you think you are. And actually these artists are really quite clever people, but far be it from me to tell them that. So I shall just slowly carry on putting this little lot together. And I'll wire the top. And hopefully in a not too distant future the glue will have dried. And then we can take off all the protective packaging, hang the thing up and actually see what it looks like. So I'll quickly lamp it all up and then we'll try it. Well, how about that? Since I've assembled this, I can't stop laughing. This is the first time I've actually got it all together. As you can see, we've now got the copper leaf, we've got our lantern which we've made, we've got this blooming great structure, and when I put that on the tree trunk that I've made, the whole thing stands about 5 meters high. So I'm really quite excited by this. It's the most fun I've had in ages. I now have to disassemble it all and move it onto site. So the next time you'll see this, it will be in place at Canary Wharf. I made that. That is so good.